Okay, here we are on a cold, blustery day. So cold and blustery that I'm kind of having trouble talking. So, we'll get right to it. As you can see, I've built some new trail back here. It kind of goes around behind those trees, and then get out of the way, and then kind of back through these two, and right back into the rest of our trail loop back here. So you can see that's the drop, and then kind of comes down here and into our new trail. And so down between those two trees is actually a bunch of roots and stuff, so that's kind of a feature in and of itself, but I think we really need something in between. So what I'm thinking is we're kind of right here where this goes off of where the old trail kind of went around that way. I think I'm going to drop a jump. Just going to be a little dirt tabletop is what I'm planning anyway. And so to that end, I've brought those two broken pavers, hoping to use those as kind of the surface of the takeoff. And then inside of the trash bags is a bunch of dirt that I cleaned out of the interior of the building. It's kind of messy. It's got some glass and junk in it, but you know, glass is just sand, so whatever. So what I'm hoping to do is kind of use that to help build up the jump, and then same thing with all of this broken up concrete, just sort of use that as a base material. And then since I've got all of this junk and it's not all that desirable, I don't want to look at it, I don't really want it on the surface of the jump. What I'm thinking I will do is go ahead and kind of dig a hole right here where I want the jump to go, and then throw all that junk in there, and then I'll have a nice pile of good clean dirt that I can put on top of it and kind of build the surface of the jump with that. Woo, it is cold. All right, on that note, I'm going to get to work so I can warm up a little bit. Here we go. Okay, well, as you may have noticed, it was getting dark last time, so I ran out of daylight to actually show the finished product. So we're back here on a little bit more pleasant day, and this is it. To be honest, I had visions of this being a little bit bigger than it is. You can maybe get an idea if I come down here. It's, I don't know, maybe 18 inches high. And I was thinking I had more speed coming into this than I actually did. Coming off of the drop, it always felt like I was going really fast, but it turns out I really wasn't. So even with a couple of pedal strokes before the jump here, it's actually still kind of tricky to clear it. So that's the way it goes. I'm pretty happy with it, though. It rides pretty nicely. Funny thing, I didn't realize that those two broken pieces of paver were actually the same piece of paver broken in half. So that worked out nicely. Kind of let me put a little bit of an angle in there to smooth out the transition a little. And I have somebody who's trying to make a home in it, which is not surprising given the number of mice out here. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with it. I might make the landing a little bit longer. It's pretty steep right now, so it's next to impossible to get both of your wheels down on it. But it's not too bad. You can kind of catch it with your rear wheel, and it smooths out the landing a little bit, so it's all right. So yeah, I guess all that is left to do now is to give it a test ride. Well, I've already given it a test ride, but give it a ride where you can see it. Okay, here we are, taking a run at the new jump. Alrighty, not too bad. Little sneak peek at the rest of the loop here. If you have ideas for what I should build back here, it's pretty flat. Leave them in the comments. Okay, well, it wasn't my smoothest run ever, but you get the idea. Like I said, it's not quite as big as I was hoping it would be, but, you know, it's fun for the amount of speed that I can carry on these flat trails, so it'll do. There's a good chance that this is going to be the last thing I get to build this year, just because the snow is going to fly pretty quickly here, and daylight is really short, so it's getting hard to build. Once the ground freezes, that'll definitely be the end of it, because I'm not digging in frozen dirt. I do have some plans for back there. Not entirely sure what I'm going to do with the rest of this loop, but I do have some other things that I want to build, so there are more projects on tap, and stay tuned. So I think that'll do it for this one, and thanks for watching. Oh, and I almost forgot, kind of a funny thing that I noticed as I was back here. You see how the tire tracks kind of start out wide, and then they go really narrow right there in the middle, and then they kind of widen out again. I'm assuming that narrow part must be right where I take a pedal stroke, and then I'm always kind of crossing back over the center, no matter which side I've missed on. And then you can see up here on the top, right there, must be where my rear wheel is, right as I'm kind of compressing the suspension to hit the drop. And you can kind of see there's another little dark spot right at the end there from the front wheel. So, kind of interesting. I don't know. Whatever.